Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. Welcome to the PocketSuite mini-series. This episode is brought to you by PocketSuite, the app helping independent beauty and wellness professionals simplify their business and stay connected with clients. Today, we're diving into how Tiffany became North Carolina's #1 acne and waxing expert. She's building her reputation through education, consistency, and care. She's sharing how she helps clients achieve clear, smooth skin and how PocketSuite helps her keep her growing business running smoothly. Welcome, Tiffany.
Welcome, Heidi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well today. Super excited.
I love it. You know what? People are going to love your episode because I feel like so many people love both of those things that you are an expert in, acne and waxing. So, can you share with us about your journey of how you started V-Lux Skin and how you started with acne and waxing?
Yes, thank you for asking. So I kind of stumbled into the aesthetics world. Going out of high school, I went straight into a university where I was studying social work. Nobody talked about the beauty industry or skincare. That was unbeknownst to us. We knew about hairstylists, but like and some makeup artists, so we didn't know about like aesthetics and waxing and skincare. Like that was so new. So like I said, I went into school for social work, and then I'm like, I'm not making any money in social work. Social work, you don't make too much money. I'm just going to be honest with you. So I left the university and I started going to a community college. Also, around that same time, I was dealing with a lot of acne, and you this was when YouTube was really big. This was before TikTok. So this was before TikTok. So we had YouTube and Google, and I was putting like honey and turmeric and making face masks, stuff that really wasn't working for my acne. And then one day I booked a massage appointment at Hand and Stone, and the lady at the front desk, she was like, "Well, would you like to add on a facial?" And I'm like, "A facial? I've never heard of a facial. What is a facial?" She explained to me what a facial was, and I was like, "Well, my acne is already bad. How worse can it get?" So I love the facial. I mean, I booked another one. I even signed up for their membership because I enjoyed the facial so much. Even if I wasn't getting a massage, I was getting a facial. And so then I got really close with the esthetician, and I asked her, like, "Where did you go to school? Because I'm so interested. I've never heard of an esthetician before." She told me what school she went to. I immediately applied, and I want to say by what is it, by fall of 2019, I was enrolled into aesthetic school.
Wow. So you started with being a client, understanding
Yep.
that you needed that, and obviously that esthetician did her job and she did amazing because
She
she
did an
was
amazing job.
right. Like
Yes.
she was like, "Yes, you're coming back and yes, we're going to get results." And you were like, "Yes." Now, okay, so that gives an example of why you probably chose to specialize in acne. Why did you choose to maybe specialize in waxing?
So I kind of got into waxing after school. I graduated school. It got kind of postponed due to COVID. So we know COVID happened in March of 2020. I was supposed to graduate by like May of 2020, but COVID pushed that back just a little bit. So I want to say I graduated like in August of 2020, and spas were just now opening up. They were just opening up. The facial salons were opening up. And I had a hard time getting a job at these spas. So I was getting interviews, but I wasn't getting a job. And I kind of felt like that was just because I didn't look like the people that worked at spas. You know, when you're going like back then, when you're going to spas, you're not really seeing any women of color. That's just me being honest. So I wasn't getting a job there. So I opened up my first suite. Didn't know anything at all. And the owner was like, "Oh, I really want you to do wax." And I'm like, "Girl, I don't know how to wax." Waxing, we spent a little bit of time waxing at school. I was like, I didn't know, what to do. I want to say my rent was like $600, and I didn't have any clients. So I had to find another job. And that's how I stumbled into European Wax Center. At that point, I was already getting waxed myself. And so I applied. And European Wax Center, they really teach you how to be a waxer. They really teach you how to wax efficiently. You learn a lot being at European Wax Center. However, it just wasn't for me. You see a high volume of clientele throughout the day. You could see up to 20, 30 people a day. And just for me, that just wasn't what I wanted to do. So then I found out about Wax in the City. I actually started going after I stopped going to European Wax Center. I was getting waxed at Wax in the City, and I applied to Wax in the City, and I loved being at Wax in the City. The pace was a little bit slower. They were more client relationship focused. We had more time with the clients, and they did not only provide and sell their products, they outsourced a lot of other brands as well. So I worked there for a little bit, and I was like, I'm ready to start my own suite again. So I opened up my own suite. And eventually, I stopped working at Wax in the City. Once stopped working at Wax in the City, a lot of my clients were able to find me because I had really great reviews at Wax in the City. And so, a lot of my waxing clients made the transition. So at that point, I hadn't really built up a lot of facial clients. All of my waxing clientele kind of came from the two waxing jobs that I had previously. So I really stumbled into being a waxpert in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Then once I started, just posting on social media because I love social media, I'm not camera shy at all. More bookings and more people started to roll in.
I love it. And thank you for sharing that. That's such an amazing story. I go to a girl at Wax in the City and I love her too.
I love, yeah, yeah, they are really great at waxing the city. So
Yeah.
I appreciate them.
Yep, the membership is easy. Now, online, everywhere, it doesn't matter, it's social media or your website, you're known as the number one expert in acne and waxing. How did you build that reputation? You shared a little bit how you build it with waxing, but how did you really build it? Like, did you go online? Did you do in person? Is just as reviews? Like, what was it that people are like, she's number one?
Social media and Google reviews. I tell other estheticians all the time, it's free. A Google profile is free and social media is free. Use it to your advantage. A lot of estheticians go into debt, go into these really expensive schools, and then they don't have any money to invest on the actual business. So I use social media to my advantage 150%. Something I learned from Wax in the City that we didn't really do at European Wax Center, we always ask for reviews. Where we had business cards with our name on it, and like on the back it'd be like, leave a Google review. So I learned that from Wax in the City, and I took that into my own business. And I asked every single person for a Google review. I'd be like, hey, leave a Google review, leave a Google review, leave a Google review, leave a Google review. I mean, Google reviews because it helps boost your SEO, your search engine optimization. So when people are looking for those keywords, they're going to find you. Then once I started incorporating social media, it kind of just, okay, people are able to find me easier. So I had a lot of viral posts on TikTok and Twitter that really helped me. And those viral posts really just came from me just being super consistent as well. I'm posting on social media all the time because I know social media spreads like wildfire. You post something and it can end up in Africa or Argentina. You never know where that post is going to go. So that's how I really built my business and my brand is off of social media. A lot of people they build it off of social media, but I still feel like social media is not going anywhere and it's still a good source to, build clientele.
Yeah, I agree. And you really nailed it on the head with the Google reviews. So local, don't sleep on Google reviews, people.
No,
Don't be
don't.
sleeping on getting feedback. You really nailed it on the head with both of those. Like people really miss out on those, unfortunately, because they're a little bit maybe too shy or they just miss that opportunity to ask. So I always tell people build it into your routine. And I love that you did
Yep.
that because that helps
Yep.
so much. Build this reputation. You use social media, you use Google to your advantage. What is one thing that you feel that also sets you apart from other service providers in your area? Why do your clients come back to you? What set that tone of like they're coming back, they're giving that feedback, they're giving those reviews?
So I felt like at the time when I was like really super popular doing just waxing, I had a lot of confidence. I speak with a lot of confidence that I feel like a lot of estheticians, they don't speak with a lot of confidence. And like clients are like dogs, they can smell the fear in you If they smell fear, they're not going to want to book with you. They're not going to come back. So that's one thing. I speak with a lot of confidence. Another thing I tell people is I don't sugarcoat anything. I give clients realistic expectations. I don't put a timeline on anything. I let them know that I am willing to hold your hand. I noticed with a lot of other estheticians, they kind of exaggerate the results a little bit. When you exaggerate the results, they have these high expectations and you're not meeting the mark when it comes to those expectations. So I tell people I always under promise and over deliver. And I feel like if a lot of estheticians were to follow that method, they would have better clientele, better loyal clients as well.
Yeah, but showing up confidently, that's huge. Now, do you feel like how are you building your trust with your clients? Do you feel like that's something is because you're showing up confidently and that's where the client trust happens, or how do you feel like you built that trust with your clients?
So I felt like I built trust with my clients. One is definitely as being as confident as I am. And I let them know that any issue that they are experiencing, I probably have dealt with that same issue. We go back to my acne clients. Well, when they come in for a consultation, I am showing them my acne journey as well. I'm letting I also deal with acne. My acne was really bad at one point in time. And usually that's a little bit easier to get people to kind of trust you. He's like, okay, she has also dealt with acne. This is not someone who's never had a pimple before. So that's really easy for people to trust me. And then like I said, I let them know that I am willing to hold your hand throughout the process. I make sure that I am very inviting and that we have that open communication. So a lot of estheticians, they're like, okay, I sent you home with a facial and you never hear from them again until they're ready to book another facial. Me, I have constant communication and constant contact with my clients. So I'm always reaching out to them and I'm not just always trying to sell them something. I'm genuinely concerned about their well-being. I'm asking, how did that product work for you? 2 weeks from now, I might ask, like, are you having any issues with that? If they have a birthday coming up, I make sure that, hey, I'm like, hey, how was your birthday? And I try to remember key details. So when it comes to communicating with them, it doesn't just feel like I'm being salesy, because I remember these key details about them. So it's easy to communicate with my clients. So that consistent communication also helps build trust as well.
I love that. And being relatable. I talk about that
Yeah.
often, and I love that you do that because, yeah, your clients want to know. It's kind of like if you hire a personal trainer that's been thin their
Yep.
whole life, like you're kind of like, well, you don't know my
Eh,
journey. You know what I mean?
right.
So I love that. And
Exactly.
and yeah, staying consistently communicated with your clients, it really builds that relationship. Now, let's kind of switch gears a little bit, talking about communication, talking about staying in touch with the client. How did you first hear about PocketSuite?
I want to say I've been using PocketSuite going on almost 5 years next year. I want to say I heard about PocketSuite through another esthetician. I think it was maybe two other estheticians who were using it. And at that time, well, even now, Pocket Suite, it still has it's not as expensive as other websites, but I like Pocket Suite. It was very easy for me to navigate. I want to say another popular one was like Acuity, and that was just too confusing for me. Then you got trying to build a website. So Pocket Suite was a very easy platform. So yeah, I think it was like two other estheticians who were using Pocket Suite. I reached out to them to ask them how they like it. They was like, "Oh, I like it. It's easy." If it was easy for me, I was going to hop on it. And I want to say Pocket Suite was maybe like $15 a month back then, and now it's like $20 a month.
Yeah.
So they have really took into consideration their esthetician's pockets and finances. So they're not really hitting you over the head. So that's how I really got into Pocket Suite. It was other estheticians, and once again, word of mouth is always the key.
Yeah, I love that. Yes, you guys share things with others. It's all about that. We're building community here, people.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
always raving about Pocket Suite.
right? I love that. Now, can you share a feature that Pocket Suite has that you just cannot live without, you use every single day?
And a lot of people are going to miss this one because they're not utilizing it. My favorite feature of Pocket Suite is the SMS campaigns. SMS campaigns. That was something that I saw not a lot of other platforms offered. And I took advantage of the SMS campaigns because if you're not really into the whole email marketing SMS are above email marketing. They have a higher open rate than the emails, especially, these days people are always on their phones, they're always in the SMS, they're not always in their emails. Their emails are like the back of their mind, and they're definitely not looking in their emails for promotions. So how do you get your client to see your promotions? Text messages, because they're going to open it immediately. Even if it's from a number they don't know, it's like, oh, who is this? They're still going to open it, read it, make the decision they want to book or not. So SMS, I tell every esthetician that I meet is you need to be sending SMS campaigns. And PocketSuite makes it so easy to send those SMS campaigns. So that's my favorite feature of PocketSuite that I use every single day. I actually just sent out my Black Friday SMS campaigns. Another thing people don't realize with the SMS campaigns with PocketSuite is you can schedule them for
Mm.
future. So if you're not, you can go ahead and pre-plan all your promotions and your content around your promotions, and you can pre-schedule those SMS. So you do it on a Monday, you don't have to worry about that for the rest of the week if you pre-plan your SMS campaign.
I love that. And you're right. People definitely check their text messages a lot
Way
faster.
more. Yep.
Yeah, than email. Email, I always tell people save that for your longer form content, save
Yep.
that for like getting to know them a little bit. Whereas,
A relationship. You're building more of a
yeah,
relationship, educational
yeah,
things.
yeah. But the text message, that's like, hey, I got an opening. Hey, I got a deal. Hey, I
Instant.
want to sell this. Hey, did you pick up this product? Don't forget about this. Oh my God, I love that. Now, from the client's perspective, how has Pocket Suite been for your clients? Like, is it easy for them to book? Do you have any feedback about
Yeah.
that?
I'm glad that you asked because I actually did what is it called? Like a survey. And my clients they're so used to Pocket Suite. They love Pocket Suite because Pocket Suite, once again, is a very easy platform for them to utilize. They're not having any issues booking on my website. I mean, on my booking site, everything is right there. Another feature that my clients rave about that Pocket Suite introduced last year are the pay in four options. So those pay in four options are great for the clients who want to spend a little bit more, but they might be on a smaller budget. So my clients love that feature. They use it weekly, especially when it comes to purchasing packages, and they just rave about Pocket Suite. I never have any issues. The communication, once again, is very easy to communicate through Pocket Suite. They just send me a text message
Yeah, I love that part too. You can get back to them almost immediately.
immediately. Yep.
Yeah, which, some clients do have questions if they're trying to book something new, or so that's really vital for you as a business owner to be able to grab that client back in. And I like how easy it is. Like, because I will
Hmm.
say a lot of clients, if something's not easy nowadays,
They
because
do
so many
not
things,
book.
oh,
Yep.
they'll not book. Yeah, so
They're
that's
not book.
huge.
I actually spoke to an esthetician this week, and I told her, I said, you need to condense your menu because people don't understand the fancy names of these facial services. You need like a custom facial and another type of facial, and that's it. You don't want to confuse the booking process because they'll go to the next person's site. That's way easier to, utilize.
Yeah, I agree. And some of those conversations can happen in person. That's where your upgrades happen of like, hey,
Yep.
have you tried this facial I have? Now, how has Pocket Suite helped you grow your business?
I can say Pocket Suite has really helped me grow my business because it's a one-stop shop. Being that it's a one-stop shop, I'm not having to go to other platforms to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. So I'm able to track my income. I'm able to track client retention. I'm able to merge my schedules, promote all in the app. It's all right there. So each year they're usually adding in some type of new feature to help estheticians grow. You can track and see, like I can see what I made last year, the year before that, the year before that. It shows if my numbers are up, if my numbers are down, if I'm in the red, if I'm in the green. So I'm able to really track, just see what's going on, what do I need to do to change it. And since using Pocket Suite, I've done nothing but grow.
I
Each
love
year,
it.
my numbers increase. So that's a really great feature. You can see which services are earning the most income, which products are earning the most income. So once you know what's your top sellers, you can put more focus into those. So Pocket Suite has really helped me grow tremendously just through those ways, being a one-stop shop.
Yeah, we don't want to have to piece things together when we're growing our business. You really want something you can log in and it helps you. The one thing I also hear from a lot of people with Pocket Suite is that customer service piece of like
Oh
you
yeah.
giving feedback and then them actually implementing those changes.
Yes.
Huge because
Yes.
there's Right? There's a lot of companies out there that just
that don't listen.
don't listen.
The I want to say in 2023 or at the beginning of 2024, I think it was like but 2023, they'll ask us like, what do we want to see? And I want to say that the pay in four platform was something that I was one of the people who was like, I think you guys need to do this if you
Yeah.
can. I understand it might not be possible. If you can, you do this. And like I said, 2024, they came around, they were like, we're working on it. They
Yeah.
also sent out surveys and they asked us for our feedback about I'm not if it's not quarterly, at least once a year. They're always asking us for our feedback and they're very responsive to that feedback. And you can just text them, send them an email, and they'll handle things right then and there.
I love that. And you know what, you guys, PocketSuite is woman owned. So listen, there's just something about women owned businesses. We love the feedback. We make changes fast. We
And
implement
they are
them.
growing. They are
Yes.
growing.
Yes, they're growing fast actually too.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give someone interested in starting their business this coming year?
So I would tell people, anyone interested in starting their own business, don't be afraid to work for someone for a little bit of time. It's okay. Don't feel like, oh, well, my peers have already started their businesses. No, don't compare your journey to someone else's journey. It's okay to work for someone, save some money, then go into a suite because you want to make sure you have learned as much as possible before you're on your own. Because when you're on your own, you have no one to ask. And you'll notice sometimes people are not as helpful as they should be. So sometimes you just can't ask them a question. So you want to make sure you are leaving when you're under someone, you're learning as much as possible, you're absorbing as much information and free education. A lot of spas and business owners offer free education and free training. So soak up all of that. Don't just quickly hop into, I need to be on my own, just soak it up, work for somebody for a little bit, and then, have all your duckies in a row. So before you even start your business, know what platform you want to use. If PocketSuite is on your list of platforms, make sure you write that down. Make sure you figure out how much is that going to cost you each month, each year. All that goes into play before you, decide to just, jump the gun and, be on your solo esthetician. So definitely don't mind working for somebody else and then plan everything to a T as much as you can before you jump out and be by yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I worked front desk for three different salons before I actually
Yep.
even became a service provider. And then when I came a service provider, I did start my business right away, but I worked alongside my business. I was
Yeah.
offering
Yep.
totally different services, so it wasn't, a
A
conflict of
conflict.
interest,
Yep.
right? But I had a lot of experience in the salon world, and I agree, like, that really helped me stay kind of ahead of the
Yep.
problems that could come up. I knew because I was already doing that. And then I gave myself that kind of runway time, right? So I agree with you and learn
And
as much as you
especially working,
can.
yeah, especially working as a front desk, you're seeing
Yes.
everybody's point of view.
Yep.
So you're seeing the finance side,
Yep.
the inventory side, how
Yep.
how to run the business, how to get the
Mm-hmm.
clients, how to retain the
Mm-hmm.
clients. So when you're working front desk, you see everything from all angles.
Yeah, I loved it. Opening and closing a salon, there's nothing like it. Like you learn so much, ordering
Hmm.
inventory, making those sales for the people when they're gone at the front desk. Like there's just so much. So I highly suggest, yes, get as much experience as you can. Then it'll be so much easier for you to, go through and get everything going. Now you've been growing, you've been in your business for a while. If you could go back to when you started, would you change anything and would you do anything differently?
The two things that I would do differently or I would change, I would one immediately hire a mentor, someone who's been in the game longer, doing better than me. And I will also hire a virtual assistant, someone who could kind of handle the things that I did not want to do. Who like that email marketing, someone who could plan my content a little bit better. So I had a content calendar that I was actually following. So those are the two things that I would tell any esthetician, anybody want to open their business, hire a mentor. There are people who've been in the game longer than you, who know make way more than you, and that's a part of networking. And then don't be afraid to budget for a VA or, an assistant because you're going to need it. You can't do everything by yourself.
Yeah, and focus on your strengths, right?
And
So
stuff on scene, yep.
yeah, so if you're not a copywriter and you don't want to do social media captions and all the things, hire somebody. Now,
Hire somebody
obviously,
up.
I do coaching, so I'm all big on the coaching because I started my business with coaching and I made leaps and
Hmm.
bounds with my coach. So I will say like, yes, I'm a coach now. So like I'm always about like, yes, hire a coach. But I had a coach and it was huge. It was I would have made many more mistakes and it would have taken me much
Yep.
longer to get my
If you didn't
success.
have it, yeah. And I
Right.
tell people, you can go from I want to say I had like three, I think I'm on like my fourth mentor, and each mentor I'm learning something different from them. And there's a
Mhm.
reason why I've gone to a different mentor.
Yep.
I want to say my second mentor was amazing. Every essence dream is to hit the 10K months. Working with that mentor, I was able to hit the 10K months, not immediately, but
Hmm.
very fast, because she just knew things that I just did not know.
Yeah. I
You
always
know,
tell people when you're in the picture, you can't see the whole frame,
you can't
right?
see the whole frame.
So we're
Nope.
doing our day-to-day stuff. You're in it. You're in it so much that sometimes we can't see the maybe obvious things or the things that maybe would make those huge impacts. I love it. Now, do you have anything new or exciting coming up in 2026?
So, yes, in 2026, I will be taking that role of mentor, coach way more seriously. I'll be putting more effort into that 100%. I'm actually studying to earn a degree in marketing. And I've already started taking clients to help with other essentials marketing as well as content creation and content planning. So, if you need a more hands-on mentor or coach to help you, work through your content, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, Tiffany at VLux Skin. And then more wax classes, more facial classes. 2026 is my year to be a teacher. Sometimes I try to run away from it, but a lot of people just come to me when they
Yep.
need to know something. So that's a strength that I have. And like I said, if you guys are looking for a mentor, someone hands on with social media, that's my favorite. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, because next year is all about marketing and content creation for VLux Skin.
I love that. And I love more mentors joining the industry that have those skills and have that experience, and we want to share it. So, like,
Yes.
I love this. And I love the hands-on waxing part too. Like, but so many people struggle with social media. So, yes, you guys check it
Yes.
out. Now, obviously, my next question is going to be helpful for this. Where can people follow and connect with you?
People can follow me. All of my social media pages are V Lux Skin. That's V as in Victor, LUXESKIN Skin. That's on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. My business website is vluxskin.com. You can find me on Google. It's that same name on every platform.
I love it. And of course, you guys, I will put everything in the show notes. So all you have to do is click away. Well, thank you, Tiffany, for joining
Thank
today.
you. This was great. This was really a great experience. I want to say thank you to PocketSuite for inviting me and for connecting us as well. So hopefully when you
Yes,
have more projects in the future, I'm the person you reach out to.
I love it. Thank you for listening. To learn more about how PocketSuite can help you streamline your business, check out the link in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, I'd love for you to leave a review. It really helps more people find the show. And if you know someone who'd also enjoy it, share it with them or tag me on Instagram so I can thank you. New episodes come out every week, so be sure to subscribe so you never miss one. See you next time.